What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another Chiefs Comments with Kramer. Yours truly here, hosting it. Dinner 2:30 on Thursday for Club Fluid Media. I'm Tank, and we are hosts. Hope everybody's having a lovely Thursday. I know it's a hot one here in Kansas City. You know what? Cooler temperatures are coming, and it's starting to almost feel like fall. Well, it's not starting to feel like fall. Once next week starts, it's going to start feeling like fall because week one is right around the corner. I can't believe it's actually has came and gone this quick. The summer felt like it was very, very short. And I'll tell you what, it might feel like that because of how many times the Kansas City Chiefs make it all the way through February with a winning record and them at the end of the season hosting Lombardi Trophy, because that's clearly the biggest grand prize everybody wants to try to win, wants to try to replicate, which is the Kansas City Chiefs. That's what every single team tries to do. But I digress. Week one's next week. Kansas City Chiefs take on the Baltimore Ravens on Thursday Night Football to kick off the regular season. And this show is a show dedicated just for you all. You submit comments. I read the comments. I answer it to my best ability if it's a question. And you know what? It's not a hard show. It's not. This is your show. If you haven't done so, please like this video. Make sure you do subscribe or follow us on X. Make sure you turn on notifications on both X and also YouTube, because when you want to know when we go live, turn notifications on. You know instantly, you will know when we are live, because when we have so many daily shows, whether if it's this one on a 2:30 on a Thursday, or if it's an actual true daily show with Ron Hughley every single noon, and giving you during that lunch hour of Ron just spitting straight facts to you all. And clearly showing BK if you like the podcast version, or even Veach season with myself, and heck, even Rocky and Serta if you like listening to the post-game stuff, or even the presser, or the post-game sounds, or even the sounds of the week. We have it all for you right here on Club Foolish Media. Just make sure you do subscribe. Make sure you like the video because it does help the algorithm. And make sure you follow us on X, because why not do all of that? But this is the show dedicated to you all. Let's get to like what we like to call comments.
Let's get to the comments.
All right, the first comment that was sent to me, DM'd me wise. He just wanted to DM it to me. Randy, he said, do you agree with the Chiefs having more offensive players than defensive players on the 53-man roster? A 53-man roster was set, locked, and delivered this past Tuesday, and we saw a lot of cuts. We saw a lot of releases. We saw a lot of people put on waivers. We saw a lot of trades happen. We saw a lot of movement, whether if it was the Kansas City Chiefs or around the NFL, of teams trying to solidify their rosters for this upcoming gauntlet of a season, this 18-week season that the NFL is, which at some point in time it will be longer than 18. Just be prepared for that. But I agree with the offensive, which, by the way, the offense outweighs the defense with 26 offensive players on this Kansas City Chiefs team compared to the 24 defensive players. I'm not going to go through all of them, but you know what I'm curious about is how all of this will figure itself out. I'm absolutely shocked the Chiefs have went with seven wide receivers, and they have three running backs now, since they did get Samaje Perine on this team, and Carson Steele is a running back fullback, so they're at least carrying at least 4 running backs and then 7 receivers. This is a loaded offensive scheme for the Kansas City Chiefs. I feel like they're going to go to all their big bag of tricks, especially if you have 26 guys compared to the 24 on the other side. Andy, I know for a fact, always likes that 25-25 split. Like, he wants to make sure the team is very solidified. Like, it's a very even to where it's not outweighing each other. But the more and more I look at this roster, the more I like looking at the offensive line group. And it's also telling because this offensive line has a lot of players on the team. Actually, you know what? This is what the offensive line consists of for the Kansas City Chiefs on their 53-man roster is Kingsley Suamataia, Joe Thuney at left guard, Creed as your center clearly, Trey Smith is your right guard, right tackle, Juwan Taylor, and then your backups include Wanya Morris, Mike Caliendo, Hunter Norzad, Ethan Driscoll, and CJ Hansen. I'm actually going to be quite curious to see who actually the backup is to either Kingsley or to Juwan Taylor, because I think there's 2 swing tackles on this team, whether if it's going to be Ethan Driscoll or Wanya Morris. Wanya Morris can't stay healthy. We saw that happen last season. We even saw this happen during training camp and also during the preseason games that the Chiefs had. The fact that Ethan Driscoll made this team is absolutely amazing. This 6'8", 300 and something pound guy, a big wall, a stone wall, might actually be worth something. I know he's an undrafted free agent. The Chiefs plucked him up, and he's able to make this team, which was huge. I like looking at this offensive line group the most on this team. So I agree with what the Kansas City Chiefs have done with this offensive group, knowing that they have more players on that side of the ball than they do on the defensive side. But Randy, I agree with what the Chiefs are doing here from top to bottom. And going from top to bottom, Jake, another comment, by the way, as my eyeballs once again tear up on a I have the ceiling fan on, so I just wanted my eyes are tearing. Don't worry, I'm not crying and being emotional over the Kansas City Chiefs. I just know for a fact this team has a very good outlook coming forward for this season. But Jake said the top to bottom of the Chiefs roster is better than last season. Jake, you're right. Jake, there's no reason why I can't disagree with you on this one, because who has at least tried from the big groups of teams that clearly make it every single year? Like Buffalo I didn't feel like Buffalo tried as much. I don't think Baltimore this last season tried as much. Those are the two of the top contenders, two of the top dogs from last year. Did Miami do much this past offseason? I don't think so. It doesn't feel like it to me. I felt like the Kansas City Chiefs, no matter what, improved from offensively. They improved. It's rough. Like it's rough not having L'Jarius Sneed on this team, and I think it's going to show a little bit. It may not be the biggest tell, the biggest like coming out there hitting you in the face week one, but at some point later on this season, the Kansas City Chiefs will miss what L'Jarius Sneed brought from the past seasons that he was on this team in order for them to get into the Super Bowl. So it might not happen week one. It may not happen week two. Heck, it may not even happen at all this year. But I still think at some point we will start to see that sign. And Trent McDuffie is amazing, clearly. Like he's going to fill in just nicely. I mean, he was great as a number 2 last year in the cornerback room behind L'Jarius Sneed. And sometimes people are thinking, maybe Trent McDuffie last year is number 1. Trent McDuffie played absolutely amazing last season. That's a big reason why that defense was hunkered down and doing what they did for Spags, because from top to bottom, that team was good. This team, until this team proves me wrong, Jake, I think I have to agree with you on this. I have to. I think so. By the way, if you're watching this, whether if it's on X or YouTube, feel free to comment away no matter what. If you say anything, feel free. It's going to be posted on here, and we can talk about it live, interacting wise. So feel free to do that. Make sure you also like this video and subscribe if you can do so as well. This one coming in from Michael. This might be the best weapon Patrick Mahomes has probably ever had. Sorry, my English and reading wise isn't the best. Is it though? It might be. Hollywood Brown, he's not even going to be playing, and we're already mentioning his name. Travis Kelce should have been the first guy I mentioned. Rashee Rice will probably have an amazing season because we already know that NFL's not stepping in with any sort of legal-wise getting in there. You got Xavier Whether, who's a bright, promising young rookie. You bring back in Juju Smith-Schuster. Justin Watson's still here, I feel like is a security blanket, a safe haven for Patrick Mahomes. Who am I missing here? Sky Moore made the team. Is he going to make a difference on this team? I don't think so. McCole Hardman, he made the team clearly because you just don't sign him and not have him make the team. There's a lot of speed. There's a lot of guys on this team that can I can truly say can actually possession catch the football. It's not just Justin Watson anymore. It's Juju Smith-Schuster can possession catch. We saw McCole Hardman do it. We don't have a guy like Kadarius Toney on this team to not to screw up on a given moment, because that was going to happen this year. If Kadarius Toney made a team for the Kansas City Chiefs, at some point in the season he would have screwed up. It's just we've grown accustomed to seeing that from him. The guys on this team right now don't screw up. This is going to be a fun season. This might be do I dare say it? This 5,000 yards? Is this a 40-plus touchdown season, 5,000 yards plus for Patrick Mahomes? It could be. It honestly could be. This depends on how the schedule shaped up. And this was a very good schedule question here. Not even a question, it's a comment. Chiefs have a pretty easy schedule. They have 6 automatic wins for their division. Then they play the FC South, I'm assuming NFC South, so that'll be 4 easy wins. There's a good chance they won't lose more than 2. I'm curious what you all think right now. What is the record for the Chiefs this upcoming season? Do they just lose 2? You know what we're going to do right now? I'm going to pull up the schedule on my phone. Let's go week by week. Let's just go week by week. There's no reason for us not to. This is my show, Chiefs Comments Kramer, and it's also your show as well. But I think we can figure this out. I think we can figure out what the Chiefs are going to do this upcoming season. So week 1 against the Ravens. They lost Banner Night last year. I don't think they're losing Banner Night this year. So that's a win week 1. Week 2 against the Bengals at Arrowhead. Oh, it's another chalked up victory for the Chiefs. There's no reason for it. Falcons. Artie Smith isn't there. I know Kirk Cousins is there. But I think that lingering effect from last season might take a toll on the Falcons. I think the Chiefs win that one. They start off 3-0. Chargers. That's the Chiefs are going to beat the Chargers. Like, the Chiefs will always beat the Chargers. The Chiefs will beat the Saints. That's 5 in a row. 49ers. I think they beat the 49ers. I prove me wrong. I mean, if it's regular season, cool. I don't think they do win. I still have them winning this game. Chiefs Raiders. They will split the Raiders series. It will happen. It may not be this game. It may, you know what? Let's just say the Chiefs lose for the first time ever in Las Vegas this upcoming season, because at some point it's going to happen. You can still crown Las Vegas as Arrowhead West. Go for it. You won a Super Bowl there. You planted a flag underneath the stadium. It happened, and so be it. But I think they're going to split the season this year with them. So, but in October 27th, I had the Raiders winning that one. Chiefs will beat the Buccaneers. That's easy. They'll beat the Broncos. That's easy. Bills in November in Buffalo. Might be a tough one. I think the Chiefs might lose that one. So that's only 2 losses so far, all the way through November. They beat the Carolina Panthers because the Carolina Panthers suck. They'll beat the Raiders on Black Friday. They'll beat the Chargers once again. So that's 11 wins right now. They'll beat the Browns because the Browns I don't have any faith in. Texans might be a difficult one. I think that might be a toss-up. It's in Kansas City. I think that Chiefs will somehow make a way out of that. Pittsburgh Steelers on Christmas Day. Going off a short week, I think Pittsburgh does get it done since it is there. So that's 3 losses at least. Then the final regular season game, the Broncos, I don't care who the backups are. Even if it's Carson Wentz, heck, even if it's Bailey Zappi starting for the final week of the regular season, the Chiefs will beat the Broncos. I have the Chiefs going 14-3 this season. Does anybody else agree with me on that? Because this team's too loaded. This team is way too loaded. It's way too loaded not to make. They're clearly above a 10-win team. And they get to 12. I think they get to 14. 14 is the cap this year for the Kansas City Chiefs, and that's them only losing 3 regular season games. That's ridiculous. That's unless the Chiefs prove me wrong. That's what I'm going with here, and I absolutely hate it. Not to hate it, but I hate how I've grown accustomed to knowing the Chiefs are going to win. Because then when they do lose, if they ever lose, it's going to be such a heartbreaking moment for so many people because we've grown accustomed to winning and winning and winning here in Kansas City. Kansas City has become a big staple in winning in all sorts of sports. Heck, even the Kansas City Royals are doing it right now. They're winning. Now, let's see if they can make it to the World Series. I hope that happens because having baseball across the street and football happening at the same time in October is going to be electric here in Kansas City, and I'm all here for it. If you haven't done so, feel free to like this video, subscribe, turn on notifications. Also, follow us over on the X app. If you have comments, feel free. Send them on in while the show is live. They will get answered by myself, Kramer Sansone, live as it happens. This comes from Travis. How big of an impact will Juju have on this super young receiver room? Interesting. What I'm curious is how he's going to accept his role change here in Kansas City. The last time he was here, let's just put the side away of he knows the playbook. There might be some new stuff Andy's thrown in there that he has to learn, but it's also Juju Smith-Schuster, and he has a very good IQ and able to learn all this stuff. But the last time Juju was here, he was a key, important player to help winning a Super Bowl. And well, if it was him getting those short catches, if it is trying to break off a big one over here and there, that may not be this guy now. I'm curious to see, one, how many yards he's going to have this season. It might be 250. There might be a 250 to 500 surplus of yards given to Juju Smith-Schuster and possibly a couple of touchdowns. I don't see a lot coming from Juju Smith-Schuster's entire year on the field. Now, off the field, I think, heck, Rashee Rice, Xavier Worthy, heck, even Hollywood Brown. He's still a young guy. They can learn so much from Juju Smith-Schuster, and that that should terrify some, not if all, NFL teams, especially because if the Chiefs they'll still have control over Rashee Rice and Xavier Worthy at the end of the season. That's 2 dudes who have been in the same group, the same room as one of the at one point one of the brightest young stars of this league. He had to learn from a lot of people in Pittsburgh, whether it was the Ben Roethlisbergers, the Antonio Browns, you name it over there in Pittsburgh. He learned all of that, and also the system under Mike Tomlin. He did the exact same thing with Bill Belichick before he got out of Dodge and he wanted to retire. Juju Smith-Schuster is would you call him a prototype wide receiver for his size, his build, his speed, his elusiveness, his agility? I think so. Granted, I know it's the wear and tear of the NFL career that he's had has been showing a lot, especially when he was just in New England. Heck, I'm not sure how his shoulder's feeling. I'm not sure how his knees are feeling. I know for a fact they're barking every single day because, heck, I don't play football. Never played a single down in my life, but I have arthritis all over my body, and it hurts every single morning to get up. So I can only imagine an NFL player who's been beat up, banged up, you name it, from the past however long he's been playing. He's feeling it every single day. But you know what? His willpower there to get to the facility and to help others, including himself and the team around him, sky's the limit for this guy. The sky's the limit for helping out all the super young wide receiver core. He may not be out there doing the most, but he's going to be doing a lot on the sideline behind the scenes from what we're actually seeing when it comes to watching it every single, Thursday, Saturday, Sunday, Friday. What game don't they play on? The only day they don't play on this week is a Tuesday? That's wild. The schedule kind of screwed a little bit the Kansas City Chiefs. I think the schedule, they were trying to make it hard. They didn't make it hard. They just made it a lot more easier for the Chiefs because of the mindset Andy Reid gives them every single week. But that should do it here for the Chiefs Comments with Kramer. I hope you all have a lovely, wonderful weekend. Next Thursday at 2:30, feel free if you want to drop the comments now for next week. You can definitely do that. You can DM me. You can @ me on Twitter or X, however you want to call it. I know Rocky calls it Twitter still. I still call it X. If you have me on Facebook, you can message me there, Snapchat, however you can get a hold of me that you want to get a Birdie Chief take off your chest. Just get a hold of me. And you know what? I will talk it out for you right here on Club Foolish's Chiefs Comments with Kramer. But if you haven't done so, have a good one, Kansas City. Put a smile on your face because you don't know who it needs to see it to brighten up their day. Have a good one.